Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to understand the new topics of the statistics. Before we begin today's class, let's do quick warm up to recall what we already know and set the stage for what's coming up as such. So, in our last lecture, we learned the basic of statistics, things like what's the data, types of statistics, and all the things. Now, let's first warm up the things. So, in first lecture, we have in our first session of section. Okay. Session 1, we have discussed what is statistic. Statistic is nothing the collection, organization, analyzing, and interpreting the data. For what for what purpose we do these things? To make the better decision and understand the world around us. As why do we need statistic? To make decision as such, we can say, to summarize the data, to analyze what the trends going on for that all things. Another is the types of statistic, which are they are the descriptive and inspirational statistics. In descriptive, we are using it for the performing the measure of central tendency, to find the average, to draw the graphs and all the things. And inspirational is used for the predicting the data and all. After that, we have studied population and sample. In that population is nothing but the whole group of the data, and the sample is the subpart of the population in which we are selecting the small part from the population. Then we have studied the simple sampling techniques. In that, first one is the simple in that first one is the simple random sampling. In that, every outcome has the equal opportunity, has the equal chance to be get selected. Then there is the stratified sampling, means that none of the data will overlap. It means, example we can say is the example we can say is the gender, in that female and male. After that is the stratified sampling. In stratified sampling, we have seen now systematic sampling. Systematic sampling means uh, in which there will be some order to be maintained, like after the eighth, like we are surveying the for specific we have conducted a survey for some specific activities. So in that, we are taking the every eighth person opinion for performing the survey for every eighth person. Like we have said that every eighth person will be having the gone under this survey, like that. Then convenience sampling is in that, we can say the convenience sampling is in which we convince someone, like easiest to reach, like that, but not always reliable. There will be easy part to go, but not always it's reliable. And after that, the cluster sampling is nothing but dividing the dividing the whole group dividing the whole group into the small cluster is the cluster sampling. After that, the types of variable. In that types of variable, there are the two types of variables in that, quantitative and qualitative. So quantitative variable means numerical. In that there will be the numerical value like the age we can say, then we can say height, then weight, like that. And in that quantitative, there will be the two types, discrete and continuous. In that discrete, there we can say there's the number of children in the family. In that, it can't be having the decimal, so it's the discrete random variables. And after that, the continuous. In that, we can say the temperature. Now Now the next type is the qualitative, which is the categorical value. In that, we can say as the blood group, then gender, which does not have the numerical values, and having the various categories. So this was being discussed in the first hour session. We have recall all the things. Now we will recall for the session 2. So for the session 2, we can anybody help me to what we have recall, what we have studied in session 2? Then please write it. So, first of all, in session 2, we have discussed various types of measurement scale. Okay, what we have discussed, various type of measurement scales. Which were they? Which were they? They were so easy. So please let me know which were they. Answer the question. First were the nominal data. After that, ordinal. After that, interval. And after that, there were ratio scale. So what's the nominal? What do you mean by nominal? It's just names or categories, comma, no ordered important. In that, can anybody give me example? Yes, gender. Okay. After that, there was the ordinal scale. What's the ordinal scale? It's nothing but ordered categories. Okay. Can anybody help me to give me example? Rank. Like we can say like we are rating a movie in scale of 1 to 5. It's also the example of the ordinal scale. Now interval. What's the interval? Number with equal gaps. And what was the condition? No true, zero. Okay, like example, it's the easiest. Temperature. Good. Now next is the ratio scale, last one. So it's like an interval but has a true zero. Now example, we can what will be the example? Yes, correct. Height and weight, we can say. Okay. So now, which were once revised, like four types of measurement scales: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay. Now, next, what we have discussed was the frequency distribution. Yes, no. Frequency distribution. What's the frequency distribution? It's nothing but shows how often each value or range appears in the data. Okay, it's nothing but shows how often each value uh, or range appears in the data. For what purpose? Makes large data easier to understand. Okay, now another what we have discussed, it's the cumulative frequency, like it's also the easy. In this we have seen the example like age group, and we have mentioned that how the for example, if we are having the age group of 10 to 20, then how many people are there in that slot, like that we mentioned the frequency. Now cumulative frequency, it's nothing but we are adding up. So it tells us how many times how many values are up to a certain point. Okay, and helps in uh, building the curves and curves. After that, we have what we have seen. After that, what we have seen, what we have seen, what was covered. After that, the graph part was covered. No, that data visualization. Okay, what was covered? Data visualization. In that data visualization. Okay. Mm, which one? Which which we have seen? There were the bar graph. Bar graph is used for what? We will write it along with, for comparing categories. It's used for categorical data. After that, pie charts. Pie chart were used for what purpose? To show parts of a whole, like percentage. Okay. After that, we have seen histograms. Histogram is used for what purpose? For grouped numeric data. Okay. After that, line graphs. Line graphs we have seen, like removing The bars from the histograms will make the line graph. Okay, from the bar chart, if we remove the bars and point on the top of the bar then, and connect it, then it will form the line graph. It's used for to show trends over time. Okay, so this much part we have seen in the lecture. Now we will cover up today's part. Okay, new part. So first of all, today we are going to understand the measures of central tendency. Okay, so let's see what's that measure of the central tendency. And if you have any doubt in the previous lectures, then please do comment. I will help you to solve out. And if you have any queries or any concerns, then let me know. Measure of central tendency. In last section, we saw how we can manage showcase our data using the graphs and charts, but this section we will focus on how we can do things mathematically to better understand our data. Today we will perform the mathematical operations on our data. Okay, so what's the measure of central tendency? First thing we gonna talk about is the measure of central tendency, which is different. We can come up to describe the middle part of our data. Okay, middle part means the means the median of our data. Many people think there is only one way to describe the middle, but actually there are several parts. In that measure of central tendency, first comes the mean. First thing is something you hear all time, that's the mean, and it's also known as the average. Now let's see with one example. Here we are having the data of 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, which this is our data 1 2 3 4 5. Now it was easy to find the mean of the continuous data, but about this data? What about this data? Mean equals to sum of numbers divided by total. Let me see. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, what's the mean is equals to sum of all numbers divided by total numbers. Total numbers. Measure of central tendency. Fancy representation, and it's nothing but the mean only. Mean in which is the fancy, but what we have written here, it's the same. This mean equals to sum of all numbers divided by total, and this also describing the same. Okay, look at the mean as the balancing point on the seesaw and try for 2477, and distance will be same from the midpoint. Okay, now another is the median. Another part is the median. Median is also used to find the middle part of our data, but here we just looking for the middle number. What will be the median? Can anybody can answer? If you are having the knowledge, then what will be the median of this data? Let's now understand. In even numbers of the data, we have to find average of the middle two numbers. If we are having even numbers of the data, means like 4, 6, then in that part of the data we have to find average of two middle numbers, like here 4, 7, 9 and 10. So it's the even number of the data. So in this part we will take the average of middle two elements. Which are our middle two elements? One is the 7 plus, we need to sum up. So addition of 7 and 9, and we need to take average. So divide by 2. So answer will be the median of this data. Okay. Now, but our odd data points, we can directly find the midpoint. For odd data points, we can directly find the midpoint. Like here we are having same data, and if we add one more here, like 12, then what will be the median for this data? Can anybody answer? Yes, correct. It will be the 9 as the median. Okay. Now next measure of central tendency, in which it's the mode. Mode is simple. Whichever number occurred most in our data is the mode. Like in this case, 2 is repeating how many times? 2 times. 6 is repeating how many times? 2 times. 8 is repeating how many times? 2 times. 9 is repeating how many times? 1 time. And 10 is repeating, sorry for that, 0 is repeating 1 time. And 10 is repeating for how many times? 4 times, correct. So like in this no, whichever number occurs the most in the data will be the mode of our data. Okay, so which number is highest? The number of repeating times? Yes, 10. So 10 will be the mode of our data. Okay. Now let's see in this data. We can say this data has no mode because all the values are distinct. Whenever the all values are distinct, there will be no mode. Now for this data, what we can say? 1 is repeating how many times? 3 times. 2 is repeating how many times? 3 times. After that, 7 is repeating how many times? 1 time. And 8 and 9 both are repeating one time. So here we can say this is a base of the binomial, as we have two modes 1 and 2, or we can say whenever we have modes more than 1, it is the case of binomial. Okay. Now measure of spread means analyze. Measure of spread means spread of the data, like that. We talked about finding the central point of our data, but we also have to talk about the measure of spread, which are the kind of the opposite. So it's how much and how our data spread out around its center. Just for an example, it's really tight cluster around the center, or is it scattered far away from the center in an uneven or unbalanced sort of way. Okay. We will talk about the range and interquartile range. Variance and standard deviations are also the measure of the spread, but we will talk that in later of the course. Okay. First, we will talk about the range. To find the range, you have seen. To find the range you have seen before, we just have to subtract the highest data point from the lowest data point. Let's take two examples and understand what range wants to tell us. Uh, example, example, we have a golf game and there were different scores. The highest score was the 72 and the lowest score was 62. So range will be of what type? 70. Okay. There are the various heights of the candidates in the class. The highest height of the tallest student is 172 centimeter and shortest candidate is 162. So we can say height lies from 172 to 160. Sorry. Yes, I don't have the grip for this. So 162. Okay. So the range tells us the distribution of our data, how in what range they are distributed. So whatever the data is, you just have to find the minimum and maximum point of our data, and you will get the range by subtracting those points. Now measure of spread of another is the interquartile range. After understanding range, now we have to focus on the interquartile range of our data. But for understanding interquartile range, we have to understand the quartiles, because in interquartile range we are measuring the distance between one quartile to another of our data. So for the starters, let's look at the data and understand the quarters and IQR. So this is the data. Let's see. Now in this data, we have to find the quarters of our data, or we can say the percentile of our data. So first, the terminology of our data is Q1 means 25 percentile. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Q1 means 25 percentile, Q2 means 50 percentile, Q3 means 70 percentile, and Q4 means 100 percentile. Okay. So after finding the percentiles, we get Q1, Q2, and Q3. Now to find IQR, you just have to subtract Q1 from Q3. Okay. So if the IQR is low, it means that data is close to the median. And if IQR is high, it means the data is highly spread from the center. Now the outliers. Before starting, you must know what is outliers. See this example. Outliers is nothing but which is the having the very much difference from the groups of data. like 101 is so far from the this all data, so it's an outlier. Like if we plot the graph, okay, we are plotting the graph, and like here is 1 2, okay, like all the data points are here, and 101 is at here, so this point will be the outlier for us. Okay, like this is all the, and this so much fast, so it's outlier. Before starting, you must know what's the outlier. So like, okay, so now let's find the central tendency of this data. So we have find the mean means what, sum of numbers divided by total number of numbers. From this the median, as such the data is odd numbers, so we can easily find the median. Median, as you can see, mean and median are used to find the central tendency of our data and still have a huge difference. So this is happening because of the large value 101 present in our data, and mean depends on all the values. Median depends on the position of our data. So 101 is considered to be the outliers. Now let's see some point how outliers are damaging our data. Outliers can distort the measures like the mean and standard deviation, making them less representative of the data. So this is the important question, that outlier affects which part of the measure of central tendency. Okay. In machine learning, especially the regression models, outliers can disproportionately influence the model, leading to the poor generalization. Outliers impacts our model performance, our statistical testing, and many other things. So we have to get rid from them. So we have to get rid of the outliers, but how? We use the upper fence and lower fence in our data. By using that, we can get rid of that thing. So here we will use the IQR Q1 and Q3 to find upper and lower fence. Let's understand with the example. So this is the Q1, Q2 and Q3. So we have find Q1, Q3 and IQR. Now to find the upper fence and lower fence, formula is for upper fence Q3 plus 1.5 times into Q IQR, and lower fence means Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So let's find out here by putting the IQR values and Q1 and Q3, we can get upper fence and lower fence. So 2.15 is the upper fence and minus 6.5 is the lower fence. That means the value above the 21.5 values, and below and values below 6.5 are outlier. So in our data, 101 is only the element that is out of our fence. So the final step is to remove the data. Phi number summary. Phi number summary is the statistical measure used to describe the distribution of the data set. It provides a quick overview of the data spread and the center, and it includes the following key values like minimum value, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. Now let's work on this data for phi number summary. Now if you see the data, you have outliers as well. For making the phi number summary, you have to remove the outliers. So now let's we have removed like perform the all the things, and 205 is our outlier. Now this phi number summary is used to create the box plot, as well as let's see the box plot also. For whenever we have having the outliers, we can represent it with using the box plot. So in this the box plot, like you can see the one value, like wait, my pen is not working. So yes, so you can see this point, which is the outlier. Outlier 20205. Okay, so it was that for the today. Let's see from the notes also. In this also we have seen the same things. Yes, so for the sample for the population mean in somewhere it's mentioned for the population and the sample mean both so this sign denotes the population mean and this sign denotes the sample mean. Okay, so mind it well. So this also for this. Okay, what's the median? So for the median, the steps are given like arrange the data from smallest to largest, and if odd, then pick the middle, and if even, then take the average like that. Mode choosing the best for the data types like symmetrical, mean, skewed, then median, categorical, then mode, and repeat picks, and also mode. When to use which one, outlier from the different distribution mean best to use data is balanced and has no extreme values, as very sensitive median data is skewed or has outliers, no more stable data. So and mode for the repeating and non-repeating the values, like range also it's the measure of dispersion. What's the dispersion shows that how the spread out of the data, like we have seen that all. It's the range, then the limitations, variance we have left. In next lecture we can cover up because time is over for this lecture, I think. So we will cover it in the next lecture. Variance and the standard deviation, and in this the percentiles and quartiles. So we have covered up in this lecture only. 5 number summary also we have covered up. Okay. Mhm. Now after that we will start with distribution. After that we will start with the data distribution. Okay, so if you have any doubts or any concern, then please do comment out, and is and for on what type of videos you are liking, or you are having any exams and you need to cover up the topics, then please do comment. I will create those videos first. And that's for today's class. Thank you for watching. We will meet in the next lecture. Keep believing in yourself. Thank you.